Let's suppose you finally found a solution to that complex problem you were working on. Congratulations! But if your idea remains ignored, you've accomplished nothing. You must sell your solution to the problem owner, and perhaps to your boss, your team, or many other people. Many people fail to sell their solutions because they get lost in lengthy explanations. As reporters would say, they bury the lead. Working the audience through the twists and turns of your problem-solving process is not a good way to sell your solution. To have impact, you must spell out the solution first and then provide support for it, not the other way around. This is the pyramid principle. Your core message head-on, then the main points that support it. This works for any kind of communication: email, memo, oral presentation, and so on. Here is one very simple trick to prepare your communication. Don't double-click the PowerPoint icon yet. First, write a storyline. A storyline is the skeleton of the story you are going to tell. Start at the top of the pyramid with the core message that conveys your solution in a few words. Then, go down to the key line points that support the core message. Key line points can be reasons why your solution is correct, or perhaps ways to implement it. Finally, lay out your elementary findings at the base of the pyramid to back up each of the key line points. Let's take an example. You have interviewed an excellent candidate for a job in your team. You are writing an email to your boss to convince her to hire this person. Please pause the video and jot down a storyline for this email. Done? Good. Let's apply the pyramid principle. First, you will say that you recommend hiring this person. This is your core message. Then you will briefly list the reasons, such as the person's strength for the job. These are the key line points. Finally, you will provide factual evidence for each of these points, based, for instance, on the candidate's resume and accomplishments. To develop a storyline, you can use two main patterns. The first is a grouping pattern. In a grouping pattern, all key line points support the core message in parallel. For example, after saying that you recommend hiring the candidate, you present reasons to hire her in three categories: technical competencies, interpersonal skills, motivations. A grouping storyline is straight to the point and easy to follow. You can change the order of the key line points without changing the logic. The audience doesn't even have to agree with all the points to get to your core message. However, your audience can sometimes find the grouping too blunt and be tempted to raise counter-arguments that you haven't addressed. The alternative to a grouping is an argument pattern, usually following the situation, complication, resolution path. For instance, in the hiring memo example, you would first spell out those of your candidate's strengths that match the job description. This is the situation. You then list the dimension on which you have concerns and that would make you hesitate. That is the complication. You finally explain how these concerns can be addressed. For instance, by bringing the candidate coaching and support during the onboarding phase. That is the resolution. The argument pattern is more elegant and tactful than the grouping. Your reasoning sounds more subtle. You can preempt counter-arguments in your complication discussion. However, you must convince your audience at each step to make sure that they buy into your core message. If they disagree with the situation or the complication, this throws a wrench in the whole reasoning. We will dig deeper in how to deal with the audience in the next video. Stay tuned.